I still can't stop being surprised at how few views my videos get on the channel, especially considering that the last one is probably one of the best videos in recent years, and I'll be referencing it because its title was nothing less than the most important level in 2025, and that turned out to be absolutely true. Be sure to watch it. I was talking about the level at $106,000, or more precisely just above it, the 106,800 level, here it is, and I actually recorded the video right at the moment of the retest. This is the most important level to watch, and if it breaks, we'll be expecting an all-time high. And most likely this time it will be vertical, not like here where we barely approached, hung around a bit, did nothing and then fell. A real all-time high should come with a breakout, consolidation, plus a vertical takeoff end, then we're off to the moon. So this will only happen after breaking through the 106,800 level. That's the first point. The second point, ice until it's broken, we're either in a sideways range or in some kind of mini downtrend, which I mentioned here at the retest. We bounced off it and just look at how sharp the drop was. The thing is, I don't trade based on news. Another thing is, I don't trade based on indicators. I trade using price action VSA, and everything I share on the channel is price action VSA. All the news that in one way or another falls under trends and so on, of course, it's not exactly a coincidence. But let's say if you read news about Trump, about Elon Musk, how they attack each other on Twitter, you might associate the market drop specifically with that. However, let me tell you this, if the trend here had been upward, if the market had been strong, the drop wouldn't have been so significant. That is, the market might have reacted to this news in some way, but not with such a serious decline. Moreover, even if this news hadn't happened, the drop would have occurred anyway. Maybe it just wouldn't have happened so quickly, it would have stretched out over some period of time. In other words, trends, the market and so on, all these sentiments don't directly depend on some post by Elon Musk. Elon Musk's posts can indeed influence the market, but only to the extent that the market itself is ready to accept these movements. That is, if the market is weak, then yes, with negative news, the drop will be more severe than if the market is strong. That's obvious, okay, let's know that. So, even without knowing the future, without knowing any posts, and generally not referring to the news at all, I still emphasize the direction of the trend and the strength or weakness of the market for you, and overall, I managed to catch the trend. And that's exactly how it works. News is a secondary factor that affects a market that has already been formed. If the market is ready to fall, it will fall. How hard or how fast, no one knows that, but the direction of the trend and the interconnections can be determined in advance. And take a look at what happened. Yes, after a strong flash crash, the market cooled off a bit and started to rebound. And this rebound, notice, is also actually uncharacteristic for the crypto market. That is, it just dropped vertically in a V-shape and then rose in a V-shape. Such a strong rebound just because there was a serious, sharp vertical drop, and it was triggered specifically by Elon Musk's tweets, nothing more. For the past 2 years, I have been trading on the Bybit exchange. It is a top platform in terms of trading volume and liquidity. This means your orders will be executed here at the best prices and with minimal slippage. Just from this alone, you'll be saving several $100s a month compared to trading on any other exchange. In addition, the fees here are low, and if you register using my referral link in the description, you'll receive a bonus ranging from $50,000 to $30,000, depending on the size of your deposit. Right now, go to the link in the description, then click this button and see what bonus you'll get for registering. On average, my subscribers receive about $100 for registering on the Bybit exchange. But if you have a large deposit and a corresponding trading volume, you can receive up to $30,000 as a bonus. The link is below. Register, it only takes a few minutes. We've just dropped down to the support level I marked here in the red zone, even dipped a bit below it. A buyer appeared here. Yes, they bought out the seller, there were no more sellers, left everyone got shaken out here, and the market just calmly rebounded and went up. But this doesn't change the direction or the trend at all. Once again, pay attention to how the price looks on the daily chart. As long as 106,800 hasn't been broken right here, there won't be any further growth with a new high. I emphasize this, let's fix it in our minds, remember it, and use it as a basis for our trading decisions. Let's move on. I've given you several trading signals in my YouTube videos, which by the way barely get any views. Let me repeat them for you once more, just in case you haven't seen them or haven't watched my previous videos. The first one is Tron, and pay attention, the signal is already relevant. So if you believe, if you're ready to go long, if you believe in further growth, that's it, just go to Tron, open up the chart and take a long position. That's it. This is a perfect technical setup for continued growth. Here, it is the key level that needed to be broken from below and held above in order to see a new high. Of course, this new high will only be possible if Bitcoin breaks through 106,800. In other words, if this breakout with consolidation and further growth doesn't happen, and it just fluctuates here and then goes lower, it's clear that Tron won't go anywhere either. So that's the risk. But if you're willing to accept it, if you truly believe there will be a new high here, then you just buy Tron, and the potential is, what, 40 to 50%? Let's just measure it and see. Well, it's actually even more 50 to 60% potential growth. But that's in the case of a non-priority scenario, where Bitcoin doesn't shoot up right now. This scenario will only become the priority if 106,800 is broken through. I don't know the future. I don't know if it will break through that level today, tomorrow, or in a week. But if it does break through, then the scenario is relevant, you can try to place your bet on that. I don't make any bets in advance. I'm not a gambler, I'm a trader, I trade, and that's why my positions still look like a complete exit from the market. I am out of the market and will only enter if there's a breakout right here. Yes, if Tron has already taken off by that time, it means that's not my entry point. It means I missed that move. But there's nothing wrong with that. The market moves every day up and down, and I'll find my own positions. Moreover, I never really liked the Tron coin in the first place. I prefer Ethereum. And regarding Ethereum, the signal I gave you is still valid. Here it is. This level will be broken right along with Bitcoin's breakout, and here you can go live. And if Bitcoin shoots up to an all-time high, how much does Ethereum have left to move to its own high? Well, 50-50, 45 to 60%. Then it'll also set a new high. Ethereum is extremely oversold, so its potential for movement is greater than Bitcoin's. So Ethereum is the priority coin, it's the priority scenario, the priority signal if Bitcoin starts moving up. But I'm not considering the option that is going to take off right now. No, I'm just keeping that level in mind, that's all. I respond to it with the appropriate positions. Let's move on. As long as Bitcoin hasn't broken through that level, I tend to think there will be a drop. And pay attention to what's happening. Yes, we have a bullish engulfing, but it's actually pretty weak compared to the bearish engulfing that happened here. Yes, it was just bought up somewhere around here. In any case, in this little downtrend, we're drawing some kind of flag here. A flag is of course a bullish pattern, no doubt about it. But most likely there won't be any V-shaped reversal with a new high here. That just doesn't happen. The market in any case needs to pause for a while. Most often, after these kinds of daily V-shaped reversals, it gets squeezed back down to the support. So basically the price should come back down somewhere around here, purely from a technical standpoint. If not, I've already told you what to do. But technically there should be a squeeze here. And the most likely scenario is a squeeze probably with a breakout here. Look at how inactive the buyer is here. He barely managed to buy back after the flash crash on the news and only bought back this drop during the flash crash. Moreover, in such a way that it will most likely get pressed down to the bottom. So the priority scenario is dash. Look, it has already entered the bottom zone, which is marked in red on my chart. If this zone doesn't hold, that's the minus 50% I mentioned, I'll be catching exactly dash there. Minus 50% is roughly in this area. This is a priority signal. This is the priority scenario. That's exactly how I'm going to trade. Now, the next point. In recent years, I rarely appear on social media, with pretty long breaks, so to speak. And in the last month or month and a half, I've become more active. I've started making videos on YouTube, creating content on Instagram, and writing posts on Telegram. And for some reason, my active audience is mostly only on Instagram, and people are constantly messaging me in direct there. And they've bombarded me with a million questions. What to trade, how to trade, what my words mean, where to enter positions, which positions to enter, what are the entry points, where to take profits, where to set stop losses, what stop losses are, and a ton of other questions from beginners. So here's what I'm thinking. On June 12th, if you're watching this video as soon as it's released and this topic is relevant to you, then on June 12th, I'll be hosting a live stream where I'll answer all your questions. I'll explain which positions you should enter, which positions are currently relevant, when to enter them, what the risks are, how to minimize those risks so you don't lose anything in the market at all, and how to actually make money from trading. And I want only those who are genuinely interested to be present at this live stream. I'm not sharing any public links to this stream. I will only send the link to the stream privately to those who contact me directly, to those who are interested. So for everyone who has messaged me a million questions on Instagram, I will get in touch with you accordingly. And if you want to join this live stream, I will leave a link to my Telegram contact in the description. Message me on Telegram. I will also send you the link to the broadcast. We will be discussing your questions in real time, there what positions to open, where to enter, and so on. This will take place on June 12th. Once again, the link will be down below. And also, you'll find my links to other social networks there, Telegram, Instagram, where, as usual, I share more content than on YouTube, because it's easier to post there than here. And honestly, I'm not satisfied at all with how few views I get on YouTube. The last video was a brilliant analysis, analyzing the level where we entered on the retest right here. Just by watching my previous video, you could have opened short positions, and some guys are sending me screenshots of their profits in my direct messages. Some of them made 100% on their deposits during this drop. And yet, you don't even watch these videos that I make for you. There you go. Overall, the movement is V-shaped, which is unusual for the crypto market. It's directly related to news-driven manipulation. But if the market hadn't been ready to drop, even this news wouldn't have had such a negative impact. Yes, this is just a rebound within the flash crash after people cooled off from the news background, and the trend, in any case, remains intact. It's barely noticeable, just slightly downward. At the very least, there should be a sideways movement here as it continues. Most often, after this kind of V-shaped rebound within the day, there's a squeeze toward the level. I'm waiting for him. And here, to be honest, considering that the level didn't really hold up during a flash crash, in other words, the buying didn't start from that level, they even managed to hold above the 1000-period moving average on the hourly chart. Most likely this level won't hold, and there will be another drop. Something like dash minus 50%, that's an interesting position, an interesting idea. It will be relevant if there's a further decline like that, a breakdown to the downside. But on June 12th, we'll specifically go over the positions that can be opened right on that day. Of course, until then, the market might still give some other signals. It could even break through the 106,800 level to the upside. In that case, the positions will be a bit different, some of which I've described as ideas in this video. So, join the live stream if you want to learn how to trade. If you don't know how to do it yet, it will be useful for you. That's it. Well, if there isn't much interest, I might not do the live stream, but on Instagram, quite a few people have already responded and sent me questions for the broadcast. So most likely the live stream will take place. Especially if I get a few more interested people from this video, then it will definitely happen. So plan for the 12th. We're waiting for a drop. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe to the channel and share your thoughts in the comments as well. Good luck.